Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the Paradigm AI Smoke Woods and Irons from Callaway.
Hello and welcome into this edition of Golf Central. I'm Cara Banks alongside Brandel Chambly. We're here on a Wednesday to catch you up on the first round of the Farmers Insurance Open because, yes, traditionally it has remained a Wednesday through Saturday schedule, albeit rare, on the PGA Tour. Two courses in action. Let's pick up the action on the North Course with Collin Morikawa.
One of the most picturesque courses on the PGA Tour and one of the most picturesque golf swings on the PGA Tour. He birdied the 10th to start his day. Stellar iron shot there for 203-yard par 3, and he converted that for birdie.
Let's go up to the next hole. He's playing alongside Patrick Cantlay, who had this approach.
Yeah, watch this in transition. I just love his move from backswing to downswing. You know, it's not that it shallows out so much, it's just that the increase in set, just a soft little increase, tells you the change of direction is just spot on, no sign of tension, and another stellar iron shot.
That results in a birdie, getting him to 3 under. Back to Morikawa now on the 15th on the tee at a par 3.
Yeah, we've watched this kind of all day. Still don't know what he didn't like about it. I mean, it had to be looking pretty good.
I don't know, didn't go in, maybe?
Right at it. I mean, maybe he didn't absolutely flush it, but I would say that's a pretty good miss.
Yeah, I love Patrick Cantlay turning around to be like, what was wrong with that? He converted the birdie to get to 3 under. Now 4 under on 17.
I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I don't think he's going to let one hand off the club in disgust. No, he's not. Inside 15 feet.
At a par 5.
He may have been a little disgusted that he missed it, didn't make it, but nice
I'm not
birdie.
showing you that shot.
No, I'm just trying to tell him, Cara. I'm just trying to let our audience know he didn't make it.
Yeah, 2 putt for birdie. He gets to 5 under where he finished the day. Here's Cantlay's approach at the second.
Yeah, I mean, you know, his golf swings always look the same. You know, they're just in balance, beautiful transition, plenty of speed, has no weaknesses, and just able to clean that up for a birdie.
Converts to get to 4 under. Let's go to 6th and another look at this one.
Yeah, I remember growing up, everybody would say, well, you need to take sort of a short backswing and accelerate. Nothing could be further from the truth. Find out the longer backswing, the softer transition, and a bit of pop works. Nobody does it better than Patrick Cantlay.
This was a nice one from Keith Tagata at 7. Short par 4.
Yeah, this is just terrific imagination and innovation. I mean, just a swath of grass. That was no pitch shot there. I mean, that was, or chip shot, I should say. That was like 40, 50 yards, a lot of guesswork. This is a little soft little pitch, but it's setting up in the first cut. It couldn't be setting up any nicer. And the greens are absolutely defenseless soft because there was a deluge on Monday. Made that shot so much easier.
Yeah, a lot of rain ahead of this week, so very soft conditions. Let's go to 9. Here's how the Paddy Ice finished up his round.
Another par 5 birdie for this man. He led the PGA Tour in scoring average on par 5s in 2023.
And as we take a look at this leaderboard, Kevin Yu, he leads by 1. He is tied 3rd right now in the Aon Swing 5, looking to secure his place in the field at next week's signature event. That is the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am this year. Obviously, a win would guarantee him into that and all the rest, in fact, this season. There's Hideki Matsuyama. He's part of the group tied 4th at 6 under. And Brandel mentioned on our post-game show this evening, just really an international leaderboard, Brandel. Nice to see, isn't it? A lot of flavour in the top 10 right now. We'll see, of course, how that translates through the weekend, but truly becoming a global tour on the PGA Tour. Let's speak a little bit about Patrick Cantlay. 1 back of the lead should be no surprise to see a name like his near the top of the leaderboard. But, you know, it is kind of at this stage of the season and the early part of the year that we get to look ahead and project ahead. Do you feel like this is a year that Patrick Cantlay really needs to perform on the bigger stages, much like he has with his 8 PGA Tour wins?
I do. You know, I think he's leaving a lot on the table every single year. You know, I'm not a football expert by any means, but having grown up in the Dallas area, I'm certainly a Cowboys fan. And I would say that he's a bit analogous to Tony Romo in that Tony doesn't really get it done in the biggest spots. And you look at Patrick Cantlay and you think, well, he just doesn't get it done in the biggest spots. He teases us with this enormous talent that he has, and he certainly does. 8 wins, 5% win percentage. A third of the time he's top 10s on the PGA Tour. But you just look at how slow his starts were last year in the biggest events, the Players and the 4 major championships. And you can see he's just a bit behind the 8 ball as these events get going. And over the course of his career, he's now in his 30s, he's really never contended in a major championship. He's got a few top 10s here or there, but he's just far too good not to have contended, not to have some major championship seasoning. So when you look at 2024, like, okay, is this the year that he's going to turn the page and finally start fulfilling all of that talent and that potential in the biggest events? I'd be surprised if he ends his career without a couple of major championships, but you got to think at some point you got to get on that train.
First time he's beginning a season as a married man, of course, after tying the knot in Rome last September. Question for you. You know, I mentioned Paddy Ice. He's known to be pretty unflappable. We speak about his disappointing record in major championships regularly. Do you think he's acutely aware of needing to change
Yeah,
that?
I certainly wouldn't call him Paddy Ice in the major championships. He's quite the opposite. You know, I mean, if I'm looking for somebody who's ice in the majors, and we talked about this earlier, Cara, it's Brooks Koepka. That's what you know, in the biggest events where everything's on the line, the world's attention is there, the golf world's attention, Brooks manages to raise his game, elevate his game in the biggest events, where Patrick, if anything, he plays a little bit worse than he typically plays while others are raising their game. So, yeah, I think he's absolutely aware of the dearth of success that he's had in major championships. And I'm sure at some point, if it hasn't, I would be surprised if it hasn't started to worry him. You know, at this point, it's time for a reboot. You know, how do you prepare for major championships? What's your mindset in major championships? Because whatever it is, it's not elevating your game to the point where you can play your best golf in the major championships.
And now 31 years of age. All right, well, let's check in with the man who has just one ahead of him on the leaderboard. That is Kevin Yu. Quick highlight from his opening round, also on the North Course today, and he took advantage. Yeah,
he did. He's sort of carrying forth the good play of last week, of course, at the Amex in the desert, where he played so beautifully on Sunday en route to a 63, and again, just another great pitch here at the 7th. It's like every shot we see is from the left rough on the 7th. It's like nobody's trying to hit the fairways. Maybe it's easier on the upslope coming out of the rough. Just a simple up and down there for Kevin.
Yeah, so he gets to 7 under, and this was just a wonderful way to finish out the day.
Yeah, again, ordinarily short-sided with the greens firm. You know, those might get away from you and you have 6, 7, 8 feet left, but the greens are so soft, you splash out there, it stops.
So take a look at his bio in case you're not that familiar with Kevin Yu. Brandel mentioned his performance last week, ultimately secured a tie for 3rd at the American Express. Last year was his first full season on the PGA Tour when he made 23 starts, and he had a great college career actually at Arizona State where he recorded 3 individual wins. I think a big part of his story this week is where he sits on this Aon Swing 5. It's really a new dynamic that we're getting used to this season, but ultimately the top 5 in those standings at week's end this week, after the first 3 full field events this season, will secure a spot next week in the signature event at Pebble Beach. You're impressed by his performance off the tee.
I am. Let's go back to last week and just take a look at this golf swing where he was shooting 63. He got to the 16th hole, and this is, you know, this is his strength. You know, early on last year, before he dealt with an injury, he was 2nd on the tour in strokes gained off of the tee. Look, in this era, I mean, you don't absolutely have to dominate off of the tee, but most of the players that have dominated off of the tee. It's right down the middle. One of the things I really love is just how he moves his left shoulder over his right foot. Big turn and big movement of his left shoulder over his right foot sets you up to do so many good things. So looking forward to watching the rest of the week unfold for Kevin and the rest of the year.
Yes, certainly carried his confidence from La Quinta to San Diego. We'll see what transpires tomorrow as they move from the North Course to the South Course. Everyone will have played both courses by the end of the 2nd round tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you on Thursday on Golf Channel. Coverage begins with Golf Today from 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll be back on Golf Central at 7 p.m.